Meeting will now come to the order. Village of Armada Council meeting. Will everyone rise for the pledge of allegiance to the flag, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you kindly. Clerk, call roll, please.
Shaw.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
Conan.
Here.
Wolock.
Here.
Ballard.
Here.
Sleds.
Here.
Belkin.
Here.
Approval of the agenda. What's the council's wishes, please?
Mr. President, I'll move the agenda be accepted as presented.
Support.
Moved and supported by Shaw. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. At this time, the floor is opened up for citizen comments. If you want to address the council, state your name for the record, and you have 3 minutes. Yes.
Okay, my name is Sam Belkey. I have 2 topics I'd like to address tonight. One is the parking issue that we've been coming to council to talk about because we're working, Chambers meeting is this week on Wednesday, so they weren't able to appoint some representative yet. And ABA, there's a discussion that maybe they'll have a meeting in early January and then we can get some traction there. So I just wanted to let Chris know that we're working on it, but we don't have anything right now. We do have a short list of stuff we thought that maybe we could do before there was an actual, might be part of the scoping, if there were just some low-hanging fruit, maybe we could kind of get together and talk about. So I think Dr. Julie and I and Chris could maybe meet if he's open. And the second thing is, I wanted to mention that in your packet this time, there's the paperwork about the donation to the historical marker by the Historical Society. And I wanted to just point out that if there's a conflict that you can't, you don't want to write a check to a local nonprofit, we would be happy to make arrangements with you so you could write, once we have our final amount, you could write the check right to the state of Michigan. And just so that you don't want to miss an opportunity to support such a nice community, I can't think of the word. Anyway, nice thing for the community. There isn't one in the area at all, and there are, for us that are history, we know that this is a thing, that people, there's a map of all the ones in the state, and people make a point, like going to all the ball fields, they go to all the historical markers in the state. So it would be a little bit of a curiosity for us to have one, and I hope that you'll consider supporting it.
Good.
I'm Dr. Julie Lefevre. I own Main Street Chiropractic. I'm also here about the parking issue, as Sam pointed out. I know about a month ago at the meeting there was talk about getting some quotes from a lawyer to figure out a parking study. I was just wondering if that's still happening or if we've decided to go a different route on that and looking for an update. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
So I'm Rob Thomas, this is Aaron Zener. Have you guys ever heard of the St. Baldrick's Foundation?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So they used to do the big event in Romeo, and we're putting one together for Armada. And it's going to be May 13th over at the fairgrounds. And our big thing is we want the whole community involved, from the elected officials to the kids in the schools. And pretty much we're coming to all the township, the chamber meeting, village.
ABA tomorrow, right?
Yeah, and we're just letting you guys know that we're doing this. We want you guys to be a part of it somehow. And also, we have a question. We're considering getting a liquor license, or we have interest in beer sales, and we were wondering what would be required for that.
You'd have to talk to that gentleman next to you when he's at.
Okay.
I'm the police chief, I'll talk to him. I don't know.
Yeah.
When he's on duty.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you.
What was the name of your club again?
That's gonna be St. Baldrick's.
It's the St. Baldrick's Foundation, but we're just putting it on for them.
You're just doing it as
They
individuals.
raise money for childhood cancer by shaving heads.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have, they make competitions out of it, who can raise the most money, and then, it all goes back to research for childhood cancer.
Nice.
My daughter was affected at a year and a half with it, and St. Baldrick's picked up the whole bill for her, and we were in needle gun for 9 weeks, so that's kinda like, you know, we gotta get back to them now.
And this will be my 9th year shaving my head for them. And when I started 9 years ago, I didn't know anyone that's been affected, and now along with Aaron, I know 4 or 5 other families, and 3 of them, their kids aren't here no more, so.
It's very sad when we lose a younger,
Yeah,
no matter who it is. Yes, thank you.
thank you.
So you'll keep us posted on what you're looking for, and I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Closer
absolutely.
to?
So right now, we're in the very beginning stages of it. We got the date, we got the fairgrounds, and now we're just doing all the,
letting everybody know.
You said May 13th?
yeah,
Yeah, we just need to, I guess we need to go to the police chief and find out about the liquor
Yep,
license.
Yep,
yeah.
yep,
That's really our next big step, is to figure all that out, so.
awesome.
Do they have one in Romeo?
They used to, they don't do it
The
anymore.
office club where my daughter worked there, real big in
They used to,
I know Romeo had it for a long time.
they used to shut the whole street down in Romeo.
I know Paul used to shake
We
heads
actually,
over
we
there.
actually recruited the #1 guy, the guy that put on Romeo one, we actually recruited him to help us.
Great.
So he's kinda giving us guidelines, and we were out doing the footwork without him. So
Yeah.
we report back to him at the end of the week.
Yeah,
Why did they quit over there, can you tell me?
just politics and COVID.
Yeah,
Well, very sad when that ended,
two things,
Yeah.
yeah.
very sad. There's always somebody to disturb something.
Oh,
I think they're, the last, for the whole time they did it, they raised like $2 million or something, wasn't it? Let me see,
yeah,
it was
it's
like
about
2 million.
$2.8 million.
Wow. That's awesome.
For 3 or 4 years, it was a nationally known event over in Romeo, so. And we're just trying to bring that community feel back here, and we feel like we definitely can.
That's great, absolutely.
Great for you.
Armada's a good community.
Absolutely.
Good, thank you.
Great idea, guys.
Anyone else?
Can
If
you
not,
talk to you when you're on duty, or?
we'll move on to the, there's no presentations tonight. Your administrative reports, commissioner reports, code enforcement's report is in your packet. Police action report for November, Mr. Ballard will have that probably. And planning commission meeting minutes is in.
Yeah, they're in there.
So what is the wishes of the council? Commissioners, who wants to start?
Well, I can go quick because mine's quick. We just reviewed the zoning ordinance, section 13, which is a non-conforming sign. And it looks like we're gonna have 3 signs will be the maximum that will be allowed. That's what I think we decided. I believe that's what we're gonna do. And those would be like whatever, 24 by 24, whatever.
What do you mean the maximum?
In other words, you can't put more than 3 signs in your front yard. You can't put, you know, multiple signs.
So if I want to support those 3 guys in Barb, I can't put the
Well, you
other
can
signs
put, yeah,
in?
you can, you put his on the one front and the other one in the back.
That doesn't usually affect election signs though, right? I thought that was, it does.
It does,
Okay, I
yeah.
thought that was a separate section.
No, I think it's all of it, pretty sure.
Okay.
Have we had that many more?
Well, if you look in other communities, it's bad, it's real bad. You know, Sterling Heights,
But Armada is.
Clinton Township, no, Armada, I don't think has been terrible, but around election time, we need more. And so we want to prevent that, that's all.
Okay,
True Tech was compliant on their parking lot also, we had asked them to give us compliance on their parking lot to make sure there was enough spaces for their business there, Cataracts, True Tech's Cataracts,
Yeah.
and they were compliant, so just let everybody know.
now, is that individual out of that building?
No,
New ones are in?
True Tech is in there, yeah, True Tech is
Not
in-
both buildings, but the one
The
building.
Just the
building,
one,
yeah,
okay.
just the one building.
Thank you.
The Oasis garage, if you.
Yeah, yeah,
Right, up home guys.
Yeah,
very familiar. All handed Armada all my life. Okay.
that's all I got.
Yeah, Chris,
Yes,
your turn.
well, thank you. Mr. Okay, a few things. I'll go out of order then. I'll take the Sam and Doctor's question. We are going to use the third party road to do the study. Final cost to be dependent when we sit down and give them the details of exactly how far they're going to go with it in terms of possible remedies. So. And then Sam, yes, I got your note, and when you guys are ready. And then yes, in terms of whatever the short list, go ahead and send me what you got, and then we'll get together then. Second is something that finally we can get closer to closure, is our Lathrop Street extension. The survey has been completed. The stakes are out. We did finally find out how our property connects to the village parcel behind it. It actually took quite a bit of additional research to find that it's included in the Morrison and Holloway subdivision number 2 plat, where they put the easement for a future road in it. So it's in none of our parcels in it, or that in that right have anything for that connection. It's in the specific parcel, and it shows that they're including the little small extension piece that's in there. It has a 20-foot easement for a future road to the north, and to the south of the property shows a 60-foot easement for a future road. One of the next steps is going to be, and I started a discussion with Jeff, is you can see, and Dave, your brother, can see now where the stake is actually at by his house. The village right-of-way ends 2.5 feet from your brother's house. So edge of his house, 2.5 feet over is the village boundary.
You can't put a road 2 feet from somebody's house.
So we're gonna, I started some discussion with Jeff on what we can do about that, is we are gonna make that a road. But there are things that we can do with that and still help preserve some semblance of parking over there. So,
What do you mean you're gonna make it a road?
well, it is a road already now. We're getting
It's an easement or whatever.
Well, no, so that's ours is not, is actually the village right of way.
Yeah.
The question ultimately became is, do we have two challenges? One is, how big is the right of way, and how much does the homeowner's lot, or how close is it to the right of way? And second is does that property connect to the village property?
It's really not even gonna be a usable road, I mean, really, at this point, I mean.
Exactly, but we have to make it something. I'll bring up a proposal, and I've started some discussion with Jeff on what we can do to allow parking here for the home, as well as getting our road access as we need it.
And they would retain the Act 51.
And still allow us to retain the Act 51, yes. At that point, in order to officially do it, then once this is completed, then comes some signage and other things, markings that have to go with it. We have to put a street sign up, I gotta put a stop sign up, and whatever else, to make sure it's designated as a road, so.
I did do an informal check of the wellhead protection area. That area to the east and the south of the piece that he's talking about is village property. It's got well number 8 on it, and it's outside of the wellhead protection area, so there should be no problem at some future point putting a road of some type.
Was that 2.5 feet? As I recall, they talked about the garage, or is it the corner?
No, that's to the house.
To the house.
It gets, the farther to the east you get, the more it grows.
Wider.
Yeah. Yeah, but the closest, and you can see there's the pink stake is right there in front, right to the edge by the porch area. Growing to the back of the house to 3.5, and then subsequently farther than that. One thing I wanted to find out is, Dave, is how's that garage access that's in the back? Is it access from that side, or do they come from the south end, or both?
Comes from the north.
The garage, you just drive it at the side of the house. And north of the house, off Lathrop Street, you can, there's no road back there.
I know what it is.
You can't, you can't drive, there's no place to drive your car back there. You know, you could drive your car to the garage, but as far as driving through,
There's nothing back there.
no, it's just weeds and,
Yeah, it's never been developed. It's
Yeah.
not been developed, that's
my
correct.
brother maintains it, but, I mean, there's nothing ever developed and, when was this, put, what, 1865 we said? What was the date?
67.
1867?
Incorporated.
Okay, well, over 200 years, we haven't had the need to make that a road, but,
Well, it brings up a question for you, as we had kind of an open question to Fritz, who owns that area back there. Has he ever gotten back to you yet?
He has not. He was going on a 4-month vacation. So, I don't know if he's even back, but I'll give him a buzz.
I gotta do it.
I do want
Okay. Yeah, just wondering. That would be an obvious access road to that if it would ever happen. As I say, the area in there is also well number 8, so they couldn't develop that, but you could connect that one street to Morrison and then on over to
Right.
anything that Fritz would do over there, so.
Now, did they actually find those irons, or it's just from legal description?
No, they found them.
Oh, they did find them, okay.
Interesting. Yeah. Why it never got developed, I don't know.
Okay,
at one time, the garage was right there. They actually
It was
moved that
moved,
garage,
yeah.
that was before my brother's time. You remember that?
that's right. I sort of recall that 2.5 feet. I couldn't remember if it was the garage or the house.
Yeah, the house.
Yeah.
It probably would have been the garage at that time, but since it
But
moved.
over the years, I did recall that, of all these years in the past, I did remember hearing about it. So,
That's
descriptions we
lived
don't,
there.
we don't work with sometimes, and that's probably what confused me to some extent. Anything else on it? Okay, you're all set? You all set with your report?
I'm all set, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Ballard, did you want yours?
Sure. I made a police action report for November. There was 34 traffic tickets issued. Drove while license was suspended, we had 2 of them. Carrying concealed weapon arrest was nothing, no assaults. Assist EMS 5 times, assist other agencies 7 times, suspicious situation 2. Civil dispute 1, disturbances were 3, alarm door, open door was 1, domestic disturbance was 2, juvenile related was 3 incidences, mental distress situation was 1, there was 1 arrest warrant, there was miscellaneous calls for service was 5, and motor vehicle accidents was 1. As of November 30th, 2022, miles on patrol car 431 was 80,555. 432 is the F-150 was 15,665. And the unmarked Dodge was 63,063.
Thank you. Chief is here, did you have anything you'd
No, I
like
just,
to add at all?
no,
Chief?
nothing at all. No.
Very good. Thank you kindly.
Okay.
Thank you for coming.
Mr. President, I got my stuff, my laundry list.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
is it short?
Yeah, it is pretty short. County has countersigned the trail construction easement, so this is for the trail connection. If we do it down at Church Street, the next steps would be to get some grant funding and then do the work. Just mostly a reminder to Steve, we've got the F&B 2-year contract review coming up. I've got a tentative date with Catherine of 13 January. This is to review the operations of F&B as they manage our water and wastewater treatment plants. So the last few days, we've had some issues with our arsenic detention sump. This is the old one, not the new one that we've been trying to fund. The darn thing plugged up, go figure. So there's 20,000 gallons in there that we had to pump out to get to an 8-inch pipe that's got a 2.5-inch restrictor in it. We did get that all pumped out, and we jetted out the restrictor, and so everything seems to be working fine at this point. I'm not quite sure what this is going to cost us. I don't think it's a significant amount of money. We routinely get our sump vectored on the basis of once a month, but we've had to do a couple calls for additional trucks to come out. So I should, by the next meeting, have an idea of what this is going to go for. That was the unfortunate part, is the only way to get to that restrictor is get all the water out of the sump. Anyway, it appears to be open now. I put in the packet some information from a meeting that I had with the township treasurer, Sarah Murray. She and I are going to try to talk once every 6 months just about what it is that the township's doing, which might be of interest to us, and things that are potentially of interest to them that we're doing in the village, such as the parking study. There's a small list of things that are in here. One of the items I just want to note is that they're considering whether or not to close the township transfer site, and I guess they're going to take public opinion from residents at their meeting on 14 December. The other items are in here to look at, and I'll take questions after the meeting from anybody on council that's got a question about it. Infrastructure upgrade activities. I've got the completed maps now from our final adjustments, so I've just got to get them printed out to you guys, and we'll come up with a date over the next few weeks to sit down and start to prioritize where we're going to put our efforts. And then an item that didn't make this is there is in fact a ZBA appeal, which will be heard on the 28th of December. The notices have gone out, it's in the newspaper and so on. Subject to questions, that's right. Pretty short.
Thank you.
Good, Ross.
Oh, wait, good.
You want to be the guy standing between us and food.
All right. Next, we'll go to the general business then. The consent agenda, what is the council's wishes?
Mr. President, I'll move the consent agenda to be accepted as presented.
Support.
Moved and supported by Clark.
Just so everyone is aware, the council meeting dates are in there, the budget meeting dates are in there. The only one that isn't every, second and fourth Monday is the last one in December because it would fall on Christmas next year, so I have it on the 18th.
So that next year we'd have 2 meetings in a row. Okay.
We usually
Yep.
do.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes, Michelle's good.
And,
Budget workshop dates.
I just, hold on a second. So we're going to, any further discussion on the consent agenda? No? So all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Pardon me. We don't have any old business tonight. We're gonna go into the new business. And, first, it will be the, consider, designation of a street administrator according to which is 13 of the Public Act 51 of 1951. And that is actually,
If I can- if I
I want my sheet first.
I just wanna, you guys did this at the last meeting.
Right.
You did, but we have to adopt the resolution, so that's, I mean, what you did last week is fine, it's just we need to make the motion.
That's why we're doing it, yes.
This one right here?
Yes, yeah, that's your motion,
GB3A.
yeah.
Okay.
What number is that?
GB3A.
General business.
I don't know where GB3A. About 2/3 through the back. Right behind the Armada budget workshop dates.
The sheets are so new.
Yep, you're almost there.
Should be one more.
Fine, thank you. All right, you ready for the motion then? You want to make it, Dave?
Yep. Resolved to adopt the resolution designating Lyle Ballard, or designating Chris Letts as the single street administrator for the village of Armada in all transactions with the state transportation department as provided in the section 13 of the Public Act 51 of 1951, MCL 247.663.
Support.
Very good. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Shall we sign it
Good point.
tonight?
Yep,
Okay, we go back and you want to make that resolution or motion there for the village officers?
Is that these three here?
yeah, each one is separate, yeah.
Okay, resolved to confirm the president's appointment of village attorney.
No, you skipped some, Dave.
The administrator one.
Well, I didn't want to say following, okay, officers? I can't name, can I name all three?
No, just read it as it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Resolved to confirm the president's appointment of the following administrative officers for a 2-year period expiring on November 25th, 2024. Village attorney Jeffrey A. Mahorsky, PLLC. Chief of Police Richard Bargeley, Meyerly. Superintendent of Public Works David Wagner.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Motion carried.
Okay, so that was, I'm sorry, that was Dave and.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, the, next is the,
Inspectors.
the inspectors is right.
Okay, I move to confirm the president's annual appointment of the following officials for a 1-year period expiring on November 25th, 2020.
Two-year
No,
period.
it's fine.
1 year.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Expiring on November 25th, should be 2023 then, correct?
Good catch, Dave.
Building inspector Gary Bortos, electrical inspector Tim Dillon, mechanical plumbing inspector George Carl Ryan, freedom of information coordinator Michelle Polis.
Unless
Support.
anybody else wants it.
Support.
Try.
I see you've handled so many years. You did such a good job. Crazy help, you know. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next one is designate the paper of record for the publication of our official notices. What's the council's wishes?
Mr. President, I'll resolve to confirm the President's designation of the record as the official newspaper for publication of official notices for a period of 2 years expiring November 25th, 2024.
Support.
By Shaw. Moved and supported. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome back. You've done a real good job, I think. Thank you. Good.
Okay, next,
Okay,
the
next.
CDGB.
Yeah, right,
CDBG.
the hearing date for that.
Okay, I wanted to tell you guys, the numbers, I just copy and pasted from last year, they've gone down a little bit. We'll have 1,900 for distribution to the nonprofits because they're taking 600 to Shore. So the village, will be contributing like $2,500 to the senior minor home repair program.
2,500?
2,500.
Not 7,500.
Nope. 25. That had to be a typo from last year, but 2,500. Yeah. They.
What page is that spelled on?
It's-
GB3C.
Yeah. Just here.
Oh, just there.
Yeah. Yeah. Just in my summary, I had.
Okay.
a little off.
All right.
Did you
So-
say?
It's 1,900 for distribution nonprofits, 600 to Shore, and 2,500 to senior minor home repair.
600 to Shore.
Mr. President, I'll resolve to set the public hearing date of February 13th, 2023 at 7 p.m. for CDBG distribution.
Support.
Moved and supported. Motion set. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Set negotiating committee for employee agreements. Is there any, first of all, request for volunteers?
What did we do it last time, didn't we? You and I and
You and
Lyle?
Lyle, yeah, because it was.
I was on it
yeah,
last year.
Joe
And
was-
Joe
Joe
was
was
there
on
too,
it.
yeah. But, yeah, the three council members, me, you and Lyle.
This is just for 2. I'm gonna ask, and we'll talk about it more once the committee's ready to go, that we only do 1 year to get everybody on the same year.
Together.
So it'll just be a 1-year contract and then it'll come up with all the other ones next year. But it's just for Chief, because he only had a 1-year contract. And then Kurt,
And then Kurt
his,
needs a contract.
Kurt's probationary period ends February 22nd.
So it's just
So-
for the chief and it's just
Yeah,
for
so we have to get Kurt offered one by February 22nd.
Okay.
Marv,
Same members want to be?
Sure.
Very good, I'll accept it.
That's gonna sound very
Sure.
I'll accept it very fast.
in sleds, but it,
You gentlemen did a good job last
so
time.
we'll probably.
And work with the police chief, because it says Triss's, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
you guys did a good job last time, so I recommend you.
so the other guy's contract's not up yet.
The rest of them are up next year.
Next year.
Okay, so, we have,
So,
I'll make the motion that it be resolved to appoint trustees Ballard, Sled, and Coleman to the negotiation committee for the employee agreement.
Support.
Employee agreements,
Agreement.
that, take out the, so for employee agreements.
There's no S there.
I said put it on. Who said second?
I did.
Clark. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
That motion carried. Next is changing the December 26th, 22 meeting to the 27th.
No, to the
No, the
19th.
19th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you
Next
guys,
Monday.
you don't have to do it, we're closed on Monday because
I kinda like
Christmas,
that idea.
Christmas is on Sunday. Usually we do have them back to back, but I think when we discussed it last year, we just said, it's right after. I would prefer to have it next Monday, but if you guys are opposed, it's fine, I'm just throwing it out there.
I'll move to change the regular council meeting date of December 26th, 2022 to December 19th, 2022, with a start time of 7 p.m.
Support.
By Clark, moved and supported. Any further discussion?
Can we make it 6:30 because I'm having my family over there? It's not gonna be good.
Oh, does that not work for you?
Well, that's okay.
As long as we're there for
What do
you know,
you,
dessert.
yeah,
You guys
what
Are you gonna have
I'm
food?
fine with
are you
that.
cooking?
dessert.
I'm not gonna do, we're just doing pizza and salad because my wife wanted to do lasagna. No,
There's nothing wrong with that, we like pizza.
Honestly, the next
All in
meeting really
favor?
should be-
Come on over.
Aye.
Motion carried.
We did everything in this meeting, so next meeting really should be. And Jeff, I might need some, just discussion on this, well, no, this next one, I'm not sure.
Yeah. All right, discuss bids received after auction date expired for the backhoe.
So if everybody remembers, we put the backhoe on Bidcore with a price of 20. We got some really snide remarks regarding that price from people, nobody bid on it. But since the auction came off, we were contacted by 2 people who put in bids, which are attached. I mean, is it okay, Jeff, to do this? Can we accept one of these bids?
Yeah, I'm just reading the second one.
Okay. I
Well,
just-
That's last week.
Nobody applied in the moment, right about it.
No,
Right,
they did not. I mean,
So
but the prices coming in are good. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but I just wanted to be sure that we're not, I mean, I wanna make
Well, if we
sure.
didn't get any on the
We did not on
original
the
one,
auction
so that
site.
would be null and void, I mean,
Yep.
it's done.
Yeah, we tried,
And now we have
yeah.
some that have come in.
I think
Yeah.
you're okay, as long as I mean, we did what we
Unsolicited.
had to do.
Yeah.
Try.
What we solicited, we did.
These are unsolicited.
Yeah,
I would go with this highest bid.
Yeah, me too.
Yes,
I
that's-
agree.
Well, okay.
Why wouldn't you?
If we're ready, then I will make a motion.
okay.
Well,
Uh,
council, we have one for 15,000 and one for 17,000.
Correct.
Yes.
So what's your wishes?
So to accept the bid of $17,000 from Larry's Service for the LB 75B New Holland backhoe, including 2 buckets.
Support.
Moved and supported.
Okay, who was the second?
Sean.
Shaw. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye, motion
I'll
carried.
let him know tomorrow.
Come get it. Yeah, he's worked on it well.
Yeah. If anybody's
He
familiar
figures
with
he's
it,
already got paid for
You're
it.
definitely gonna be for Larry. That's a good, that's good.
okay, so Steve is next.
Okay, had a little discussion with Jeff just before the meeting, and we kind of altered this, this motion here. Because we want to check and make sure that Sorensen Gross has paid all the subs and all that is all set. So we've just added a couple extra words in here. And this one is for Rowe. Did the engineering, there was some things that were not done the right way, or mistakes were caught, extra cost was involved, and Roe footed the bill on some of those. They took, so. We'll move to approve the settlement agreement and mutual release between the Village of Armada and Roe Professional Services Company, subject to review and approval of non-monetary terms by the village attorney, and authorize the president to sign on behalf of the village.
Support.
Okay, you're gonna have to give me that.
Yes, I will.
That was you last?
Yeah, moved by Parks, seconded by McDonald.
That way we kind of keep it going, and we don't have to sit on it, a few more weeks or whatever. We're approving it as long as Jeff is happy with the information we get back from Sorensen and Rowe will be all good.
Thank you.
Okay. So. You want to help on? No, I don't
I think
think
we're getting money back.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be a whole other thing, I talked briefly with Jeff too, I go, where does that money go? Does it go in the sewer fund, does it go in general, does it have to go to SRF? And Jeff mentioned that we probably have to talk to the bonding company to make sure that we do it the right way. So that'll be a future thing.
Yeah.
Well, Ann will like to hear about that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Do we have to have a vote, individual vote of this?
No.
Anybody can ask for what they want.
Well, let's, just, what's council's wish?
If it's all A's, it's all A's, doesn't matter what order they came in.
Yeah, just-
Well,
Okay.
no, just call for the vote.
You wanna roll?
No,
No,
just call.
okay. All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Much easier.
Yes.
Okay. Something about a new heating system for well house 6 and 7. Ross, apparently that's you.
It is me. All right, you recall at the last council meeting, we talked about the failure of the heating system in well house number 8. We replaced that under emergency circumstances. I guess we had to do a service call. They couldn't fix it, couldn't get parts. We eventually replaced that. We called several different heating and cooling guys. We didn't get a response back from some of them. We wound up getting good service out of Northern Air out of Richmond. That unit was 10 years old. Well house number 6 and 7, upon investigation with Dave Wagner, those units are 17 years old. I sweated out number 8 because it froze that weekend, and we had a very small space heater in there that I was afraid was going to burn the thing down. I don't want to take a risk of that. So I did ask Northern for a quote to replace number 6 and 7. Quotes in the packet for $4,600. That's 2 new heaters, 2 thermostats, the same heater as the one on well house number 8. Technically, I should have gone out and got other bids. I'm tired of
These
spending.
regular furnaces?
What's
Are
that?
these regular electric heaters?
No, they're,
I mean, you put a furnace in for
yeah, it's a gas-fired furnace, but it's
$3,000.
I'm sorry?
If you put a furnace in your house, it's about $3,000.
Well, 46 for 2 then is a good deal.
Well, but this isn't a furnace, it's
It's
just
a,
a
it's
heater.
a gas. I call it a heater.
It's a unit.
It's a unit heater.
Yeah.
Those are expensive.
Whatever the square footage of the buildings are, and they're different, it heats it, it keeps it at, above freezing. We usually set them at 65 degrees, keep it above freezing. Those pumps gotta keep going. Technically, I gotta get a couple bids. I didn't go out and get a couple bids because I've had abysmal luck getting anybody to call me back. I spent an inordinate amount of time trying to do that. So I did a market analysis. If you take the quote and you take out the cost of the heaters, and I did an analysis of what does it cost for those heaters. The quote was $4,600. The cost for the heaters, the 2 heaters and the thermostats is $2,290. That's $2,230 left over for labor, parts, transportation, profit, whatever. And then I looked up to find out what's the normal margin on this kind of stuff. Heating, cooling contractors, HVAC contractors are usually look at a 35% margin, which means that there's a markup of 54%. 54% would be $2,484. So if you look at the 2230, it's 49.4%. So it's under the standard or the average markup.
That's a good price.
I think it's a good price. I trust these guys. They did a good job with number 8. I do not want to be there on a Friday sweating out, especially now. We're going to have below freezing temperatures for the next week at least. If one of these things decides to, yeah, I was going to use a different word. But I think it's a good price, and I'm happy with these guys, and they've got them in stock. And this heater matches these 2 heaters, or furnaces, whatever you want to call them, match the other one. Parts are regularly available, and I'd probably use these guys to service them if anything. There's warranty on parts and labor, I think it's a good deal. So I'm going to make a motion to accept the quote from Northern Air Heating and Cooling in Richmond, Michigan, to procure and install 2 CG030 heating units at a total cost of $4,600, and to allow the water commissioner to sign the quote for the village. Support.
Moved and supported. Belkey and Charles.
Russell, is that a CG or a GG?
CG.
Could look on the quote.
I think it says, when I say it, GG.
So you're changing your C to a G?
No, well, it's funny because
There's a
I
typo.
looked it up online, and CG030 was the heater that came up. Unless I put GG in, I don't know, maybe I put GG. Anyway, I did research
Yeah,
it.
they got GGs.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing the work on the research, Rob.
Well,
Ross, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I don't, to hold anything up, but do you think there's any way you could find out whether they could, I know a lot of people now have like an alarm or a remote alarm on those types of things, because the only reason I ask is,
Actually,
you're not gonna,
that's a great idea.
you're not gonna know if it goes off, so.
Well, we do have an operator from F&B that goes into those facilities on a regular basis to take water samples, even on the weekend. The issue that I have is a lot of these HVAC guys aren't going to come out on the weekend unless it's an emergency, and then you're going to get charged.
I just, like I said, maybe worth a question, because maybe it's something aftermarket we could add.
Yeah.
But I just think, when you gotta cover those remote facilities, sometimes it's better to see if you can have like a.
Well, don't we have alarm systems on those? I was wondering if you would piggyback a temperature sensor.
Well, I'm talking to UIS SCADA on Wednesday.
Okay.
I'm thinking that the system they put in has a temperature sensor on it, so that the SCADA alarms would go off if the temperature goes down. Now, why I'm having a brain cramp on it, I don't know. I'm pretty positive that there are temperature sensors in there. So the SCADA system does a lot of stuff, and it will trigger an alarm if the door is opened without the proper code and so on. It's got a heating unit in there, so I'm pretty sure we put that in when we did it. So, but I will double check. That's a great point. Is to have some advanced notice of it.
I've got a question on the one that went out, the 10-year-old one. Was there corrosion and stuff on it? Is that why it did it, or just?
There are 2 fans in there. One of the fans, they put a voltage tester on it, and it didn't. The amperage was way above what it was supposed to be drawn.
I'm just wondering if the ventilation problem we've had, if maybe that contributed to it going out sooner. That's all.
I thought about that too. I did go before the season started turning cold, and I have the vent system run for half an hour in the morning, and then 12 hours later runs for half an hour again. I cut that back to 15 minutes to exchange the air in there, and not in the winter take all the heat with it. So, I think we're okay there.
Yeah, right. Also, I have a question there. Well, it's on the windows. You know, them are single pane windows, aren't they?
For the,
For the windows in the building.
well, the well houses don't have windows. There is a window in the water treatment plant between the chlorine room and the,
Okay,
yeah. So,
but I was wondering about the,
yeah, the only real aperture we have in there is the louver system, so when the ventilation system opens the intake, it also opens an exhaust louver, and that's where you get
Yeah,
air
okay.
coming over in there.
because like I said, with the windows, you get air when single pane windows. You know, and then it's not good.
Yeah,
And also, I had this company myself, personally, good.
it seemed to be square shooters, and I thought we got a good deal the first time around. The price would have been lower, but we had that emergency service call on a Friday, trying to get the thing running. They just said,
Well, good.
parts are not readily available, we'll have to go out of state to try to get them if they're even there, and,
But any information is good, so that's why I offered.
yeah.
So,
I
that's
just,
good.
this is just preventative in my mind. I don't want either of these things, especially after 17 years, we've got good use out of it.
All right, well, I'm gonna call a roll.
Okay, Belkey,
Yes.
Sledge. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you are right.
I can vote.
That moves you to 7. Shaw.
Yes.
Ballard,
Yes.
Bullock,
Yes,
Conan.
Yep.
Clark,
motion carried.
Sledge.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you all.
Up and coming agenda items, council have any?
Christmas. And New Year's.
Not yet, that's next meeting.
That's true.
Citizen comments, council comments? Community events? None? We don't have a closed session tonight? I'm gonna entertain a motion for adjournment.
Time is 7:55. I move to adjourn.
Support. Give it to Ross.
Hey.
Hey, give him one tonight. All in favor?
Aye.
Good, motion carried.